Hi, I'm Rebecca Hidalgo-Rains, and you're listening to Grateful Heart. I started this show to help educate my clients on the real estate market, and it's evolved into so much more. I've found that I love talking to people, and I love learning new things. While our expertise is still on the health of the housing market, we want to focus on the health and the well-being of our listeners as well. More specifically, where we reside in our hearts, in our minds, and in our homes. The biggest purchase in our life just isn't a house. It's where we raise our children, start a new business, pray for our loved ones, and follow our dreams. It's even where we listen to our favorite podcast. When we are successful at home, everything else just falls into place, and we are so grateful for that. Home is where the Grateful Heart is. Thank you for joining us today. Hi guys, I'm Rebecca Hidalgo-Rains with Grateful Heart TV, and in studio today I have the owner of Capital Energy, Taylor Russel, with me. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's
welcome
awesome
back.
To be here. Yeah.
Actually, welcome back.
To be here.
So I had Taylor on my show the first time. It's been years.
Yeah, it's been
like,
years.
You were like a little kid when you came on last time. I swear. I think you've grown into this man. And last time, Taylor, if you guys actually wanted to go back and look, I'll have to figure out which episode number that was. But you were new to Arizona.
Yes.
And it was a totally different company. So let's talk about Capital Energy, which is why I brought you on today. And as I say that, I'm going to switch it over to bring up the website because any of my viewers know I don't know how to use this mouse. Fry, my studio producer, will tell you that as well. So I'm giving the mouse control to my friend Taylor, and he's going to educate us on all things Capital Energy. Taylor, you and I both know this already. Solar's a good thing. Solar, you don't see so much of in the East Valley versus the West Valley, and we're going to talk about why. And for you guys watching, I want you guys to know that I'm actually now a dealer under Taylor at Capital Energy, Kismet Construction. You guys who have been watching know I've been in the effort of trying to bring affordable homes to my clients, to the consumers, and part of that is cheaper utility payments. I'm a firm believer in alternative construction methods and in solar. It is just stupid if not everybody has a solar panel on their roof. And I say that, and I don't have one on mine, so I'm pretty stupid. But I'm going to be buying it from Capital Energy this month for the current home that I own, which, let's be fair, I just closed on it a couple months ago, so I'm getting there. But what I love about it, Taylor, is at Capital Energy, I want to talk about the tax reasons why it's a good reason to buy solar, but there's a lot of other things that Capital Energy can help people solve problems with their homes, their roofs, their windows, other items. And depending on your accountant and what your accountant will tell you, you may have some wonderful benefits with the IRS if you were to improve your home. So Taylor, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Please
it's awesome to be here.
Awesome, thank you. And please explain the babble of stuff I was just trying to say, because he says it way better than I do. I know enough to be dangerous, and that's why we partnered with Taylor, because I firmly believe in Taylor's company. I believe you guys are completely ethical in comparison with so many other solar companies out there. I know the back end of what you guys do. Please share that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So Capital Energy, we're a locally owned and operated company here in the Phoenix area.
Yeah, you guys are right on Baseline Road, right? Or no, Southern.
Right on Southern. We're currently servicing the state of Arizona as well as the state of Nevada. The reason why we started Capital Energy is kind of what you're talking about. There's a lot of different opinions and different thoughts of solar. And solar, as an underlining method, is a very good thing for homeowners, for the environment, for people's pocketbooks. And so
it's good for so many reasons.
Absolutely. So when we started Capital Energy, we wanted to own the entire process. So at Capital Energy, we do everything from sales to site surveys to customer service, meaning working with different cities, utilities, all of the application process, HOAs. We do everything A to Z as well as installs, battery upgrades, MPU installs. We do everything. And the main reason for that is we can control the whole customer experience. So the customer calls one place if they have a question, the same company showing up trying to help them and assist them with their questions, concerns, because just like buying a home or having a construction project, everyone wants to know where they're at in the process, what comes next, who do I call, is the person I'm talking to the right individual? And so through the whole solar process, we really pride ourselves in providing good customer experience and helping our clients know what's coming next and to be happy.
Well, and I applaud you for that. And the fact that you've taken your time to educate a group of realtors. So anybody who works for me at Integrity All-Stars has gone through the training so that they know enough to be dangerous too. The reason being is I can't tell you guys how many times over the years people have come to me with bad leases, bad solar loans. We've gone and tried everything we can to sell their home, and it screws the deal more often than not. Now, I am one of the solar-friendly people, always have been, so I think I've solved problems for people that other agents probably haven't been able to.
Absolutely.
But I'm still pretty sore about a deal that I did my job a couple years ago, sold the house multiple times, and the solar company, leasing company, not the solar panels, but the leasing company wouldn't qualify the buyer, but yet the buyer could qualify for a mortgage loan. It made no sense. So I want to talk about the financing because I think part of the reason that solar might have a bad reputation is for stuff like that, at least within the realtor community.
Absolutely. And so I get hit with this question all the time. We've had this conversation multiple times. The old leases that happened before 2015 and even now, if they're explained properly and they were sold the right way, there are some benefits to that. Where
the right way.
Yes, the right way. There's a certain demographic that it does benefit. Now, what we do a lot with different realtors like yourself, so you come across a situation where you're like, hey, what's going on here? We're happy to take a look and really educate homeowners because I had a really good friend that just moved here from Ohio. He purchased a system that had a lease on the home, and it actually was a really good opportunity for him to save money on his electric bill. But as far as those other situations like you're talking about where it's killing the deal, they're not qualifying, yes, there are some things there on the lease side that can be a little bit of a pain in the back if you're not understanding what comes next.
And I think the key is, and this is why I felt so passionate about educating my agents, is that if our clients come to us, we'll make sure they don't get into one of those deals that will screw them down the road. That's the thing that freaked me out. Like, legitimately, you guys, you get somebody who comes and knocks on your door and all they care about is themselves, they will put you into a loan that doesn't serve you, only serves them. And they may charge you for panels that you really don't need. And so when I learned how you guys look at a utility bill and then you ask the right appropriate questions to make sure, in fact, you have less panels instead of more, because it makes more sense if you have somebody who does it the right way.
Absolutely. So going off one of the things you said earlier is, hey, on the east side where SRP is, there's not a ton of solar. In the last 4 years, we have really specialized in SRP, helping homeowners in SRP because it is a more complex sell. There is a lot more of information to go over.
Okay, well, time out real quick. I sent my husband and my staff to a thing last week. One of my old agents, Michelle Phelps, I think you know her. She's in the solar industry now. She invited my team out. I was out of town, so they went, and they were telling the biggest takeaway. Is it true that the board of directors are getting ready with SRP to turn over? And so if you want to make an impact as to what you're about to talk about, you need to go vote. And when they came back to my office and told me that, I'm like, how do you vote? Absolutely. How does that work? So please explain that part of the whole SRP conundrum.
Yes. So SRP is a private utility. Unlike APS, they're part of a different board that governs them. And so we're trying to educate all of our individuals who work with us, our clients that go out and get educated on what's happening, because a part of those boards, they are able to make decisions on net metering, which net metering is what the homeowner benefits if there's overproduction and who gets credit for that overproduction. So
that's how SRP negates the value currently for people to get solar panels if they live in the SRP territory.
Correct.
It has to do with that, right?
Correct. That's the big piece there. So when you look at a home and if it's really a good fit for a homeowner, it's not necessarily there's a lot of things that go into it, but more importantly is what utility they're in and how that utility manages the excess power going back and forth from the grid. So
it's the excess power.
Yeah, the excess power. So right now there's a big vote going on, and the individuals that obtain those chairs and those seats that have an opinion that really make decisions of what happens and how it trickles down to all of us, we're able to vote on those things. And so to get out and go vote and take action is really important for a lot of us.
So how do we do that? I would love to give anybody watching instructions. Like if you live in the East Valley and you want panels and you've heard it's, SRP charges, or is it an excess charge, or is it just that they don't pay as much.
So the way it works is SRP, they do not buy back the power at a high enough rate to make it beneficial. So they're currently charging an average homeowner, let's just use a round number and say 10 cents a kilowatt hour.
Okay.
So if a homeowner overproduces energy, they're only buying that excess power at 3 cents. It's like
so you're
2.8
losing 7
cents.
cents a kilowatt,
Correct.
right?
So during an on-peak time in SRP, that 3 to 8 in the summer, they're now charging the homeowners around 27 to 28 cents, and then they have fees on top of that. So they're taking that excess power from this solar homeowner, taking it and then selling it to this person, and they're making
a bunch of money.
Yeah, a profit on that.
But they won't pay the homeowner who's producing
Correct.
it what it costs them to make it.
Correct. And so that's really what's been the holdback on why you haven't seen solar really take off in the East Valley. So your Gilberts, your Mesas, your Queen Creeks.
Yeah.
A lot of homeowners are understanding because there is a way to go solar where it makes a lot of sense, but it's not as simple as, hey, we're going to take a look at your bill and we're going to build a solar system to produce 100% of your power and you're going to be happy because 100% of it's going to come from solar. Due to being purchase rates being at different times of day, rates changing at different times of day, different times of year. There's a lot that goes into building a solar system. And then so what ends up happening is most homeowners are like, well, I'm just confused and I'm not going to do this. Or they talk to an individual and they get, incorrect information. And then now a homeowner doesn't know what's right and what's wrong. And that's a really big part of what our job is making sure people understand that and talking to different clients of ours, talking to different individuals who have gone solar and are seeing the benefits. It really helps a homeowner make that next leap to solar.
You said something to me in training that I have not forgotten, and I think it truly nailed the coffin for me as far as why I said in the beginning of the show, you're stupid if you don't have it.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you after this commercial break. Come back and check it out.
If you're looking for a mortgage, you need a personalized plan, not a click button get mortgage option. My team and I have saved families thousands by proactively planning their home purchase or a refinance. Buying a home is a huge decision and it deserves a strategic approach. My team and I provide a comprehensive mortgage plan, including a complete credit analysis outlining the steps needed to improve your credit score and help you qualify for the best rates and terms in the market. Visit us at tkteam.us today. We'll ensure you get the best guidance so you can make the best decisions. The TK Team, moving you forward.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Hidalgo-Rains with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and I've been selling homes here in the Valley for over a quarter of a century. I want to say that experience truly matters, so when you're looking for a realtor to help you either buy or sell your biggest purchase of your life, I hope you'll consider using me. My experience doesn't matter near as much as my clients, so I do dare you to Google me, and I promise you'll see nothing but fantastic reviews because I really do truly care to help navigate you and your family to the very best experience you'll ever have with buying a home.
Have you been thinking about buying a new house or refinancing your existing mortgage? Interest rates are still around historically low levels. Why pay a higher rate when you don't have to? Call Joe Smith, me, at Epic Mortgage LLC, 602-741-4121 for a free mortgage quote or pre-qualification. Epic Mortgage LLC is a locally owned, independent mortgage brokerage that provides low-cost options for its customers. Independently owned means low overhead, so you get the best rates, fees, and service. Keep more of your money. Brokers are better. Realtor recommended for over 20 years? Contact me, Joe Smith, at Epic Mortgage today, 602-741-4121.
Whether purchasing a home or refinancing, we know you have choices when it comes to choosing a title company. Navi Title Agency is the leading source for all title, escrow, and marketing needs. With access to the largest title insurance underwriter, Navi Title facilitates successful closings and protects clients from fraud. Creating solutions that save time and money for everyone, ask your realtor or loan officer today about using Navi Title on your next real estate transaction. Navi Title Agency is locally owned and operated in the state of Arizona.
All right, we're back from commercial break, and this is what my huge takeaway was and why I said I'm stupid for not having it, regardless of living in SRP or not. You explained to me so eloquently, and I hope you can do it just as well right now. You're on the spot, I know, Taylor. But what he explained to me is this, is if you buy a solar panel today, you're locking in today's cost for creating the cost of the utility, right? So 5 years from now, when undoubtedly the fees are going to cost you a lot more than they do today, and I'll let him explain why, you're going to wish you bought solar today. And that's the thing, is like with real estate, we always say the best time to buy real estate was yesterday, for that same kind of concept. So when you explain that to me, I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Because, we see everything going up. And if the utility fees continue to go up, at least you get to lock in what it's going to cost you to produce what you need if you're going to be in that home in 5 years. So I guess for me, to protect my clients, I'd want to make sure you're going to stay in that home at least 3 to 5 years, probably to make sure you get the benefits cost-wise, tax credit-wise.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy a house and move out of it next month, probably not a smart investment, but so many other improvements on a home are not smart investments unless you're going to be in your home 3 to 5 years at least.
Yeah.
So please explain better than
Absolutely.
I just did what I just tried to spit out.
Yeah. So it's funny. I was getting ready for this meeting today, and I was looking last night. SRP, TEP, and APS all increased double digits last year.
Double digits?
Double digits.
Okay.
So when you look at what you were paying a year ago today for energy, 10% or more, depending on the utility you're in, you're paying more for that same power.
So just year over year, over 10%.
So there's a website called EIA.gov.
EIA.gov.
That every homeowner can go look at. It's a government agency that manages and reviews all the local utilities. And you can see how much your local utility has increased over the last 5, 10, 15 years. So the big thing that we always talk about that's very similar to real estate is if you go solar and you lock in that power, the solar cost does not increase.
Right.
So your local utilities are increasing year over year over year. So APS, SRP, they're increasing. So if I'm in that home for 3, 4, 5 years, and you are talking to your neighbors and seeing those individuals who have knock-on solar, you can expect a very, very large increase to your bottom line in savings because it's an avoidable cost that you're not paying.
Right.
So
it's avoidable.
It's avoidable.
It's avoidable if you buy it today.
Correct. And so that's why with the tax credits and the different incentives that are there, locking in your rate, when you compare the same costs with your current utility, people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for energy over the next 20, 25 years in Arizona because we use so much power.
We are not going to stop anytime soon.
And an average home in Arizona will use as much power in the majority of states in 5 months. So in a 5-month period in Arizona, we will use as much energy as most American homes will use in a 12-month period.
It's so crazy to me.
And it's crazy. And so it's putting a big strain on the utility grid. Not even including all the new home
and don't even
buildings.
even get me started about when California switches all to electric vehicles. Like,
Bingo.
what the hell is that?
No, that's a great. I mean, but the other thing you have to look at is look at California. So you can't build a new home in the state of California without having solar on the roof. So
and you also can't build with gas.
Correct.
They're getting rid of gas cooking, which shocks me because of all the foodies out there. But
which is why we live in Arizona.
We live in Arizona.
But the whole point to what we're talking about is utility rates are increasing at an all-time high. The only way to get away from that energy cost is to go solar. And so the benefit with solar and the advances that we have made, we have 25-year warranties on the hardware. We have 25-year warranties on the workmanship, the penetrations.
Well, and then you guys also taught me bigger is not better. Like, I was super excited. I wanted to build a home with the Tesla roof. Like, the whole roof would have been basically one giant solar panel. And when you guys explained to me, that's why you look at the bills, ask the questions like how many people live in the house, what are the things that you'd like to do, your schedules, like so much to make sure that we're getting the right size panels for our personal consumption.
Yep.
Because if I make more than I need, you just explained to me SRP is not going to pay me but pennies on the dollar.
So, and we explain all this to our internal sales reps and our dealers when we meet with them is more panels does not necessarily mean a happier client.
No.
And that's weird coming from a solar guy. It's like,
no,
hey, we
but that's
want to
where I
install
know
solar.
you guys are honest.
Correct. And so what it comes down to and how we train all of our energy consultants is this. We want to obtain the most recent electric statement or bill from the homeowner. The reason why is there's a graph on that bill that everyone sees. They're like, hey, what's this graph? You probably don't even look at it and you throw the bill away.
Yeah.
We look at that bill and
I look at the top right corner.
Yeah, where the cost
where the amount is.
Exactly, right? And so what we do is we send that over to one of our engineers, and then they take what's called a PV watt report of the house. So it shows us every square inch of the home, how much sun that roof's going to get.
Okay, so before we get done with the show, I'm looking at the clock. I know we have time to do this.
Okay.
Taylor, I want you to walk us through your website because your website's awesome.
Okay, let's do it.
You have a ton of questions or a ton of information on there. So any of you guys watching today, if you're thinking about getting solar and you have contacted myself or one of my agents on my team, I'm instructing you guys to go to the Capital Energy website. It's cptlenergy.com, right?
Yep, correct.
I learned something. And Taylor, being the owner, knows this better than anybody. There's so many cool things. What I was most impressed with was even on our property, we're looking at doing a bunch of stuff. Okay. So besides the fact that, and this is part of your one-stop shop, controlling the whole experience, you guys have found trade partners to help people replace roofs. Because guess what? When you put a solar panel on an old house, lots of times you guys are finding they got roof stuff they need to get done first, correct, right? And then windows that are energy efficient, you guys will offer that. You have a lot of add-ons. Can you please speak to that? Because that's when I got so excited because I'm like, what? We can buy a new roof. We could buy a new solar panels. We can get windows. We can put that all in a loan.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I was pretty excited.
Yeah, it's really exciting because a lot of these homeowners, when they go solar, we do what we call as a site survey. It's very simple as...
Yeah, like when I go check on a house.
An inspection. So we don't want to put a solar system on a roof that we're going to have to come take the solar system off in a year and fix the roof anyway. So what we've done is we've set up strategic partnerships with different companies inside of the valley, whether it's roofing, whether it's HVAC, whether it's windows, and based on what that homeowner is looking to do and looking to accomplish in their home to make it, one, more energy efficient, two, making sure that the home is ready for solar before we install it and have our warranties take place. It allows them to bundle other products or projects inside of the loan, which is exciting. So roofs and HVAC is really one of the biggest ones, the biggest two that we use. And the main reason is we don't have very many insurable events for roofs in Arizona.
No, we don't.
So what happens is a lot of these individuals need a new roof. It's out of, they
don't have the money to do it.
So inside of our financing, what we were able to do is we're able to bundle the roof inside of the solar financing and make it all one payment.
Okay, so this is where I got super nerdy excited because I can't tell you, Taylor, how many times I've gone to a home inspection and the roof is about shot. The seller doesn't want to buy a new one. The buyer doesn't want to buy a new one. And P.S., there's a lot of little things they could do to make their home perform better, like windows, like, blowing in insulation. So what I'm going to tell you guys, if any of this sounds interesting to you, call your accountant. He's not an accountant. I'm an accountant. I always give that disclaimer because us realtors are trained a long time ago. Don't rely on what I'm telling you, but I know enough to be dangerous. Call your accountant because all of that stuff, from what I understand, what's the tax code? The federal tax code on it?
It's the ITC tax credit. And there's a 30% tax credit on the solar 30%. Part of your loan.
Yeah, 30%. That's huge. That means you get a credit on your income taxes. And besides that, you guys will do the financing. Usually I have to worry about if you close escrow right at like a month later, no bank's going to loan you money because they want to see a certain loan to value. Usually it's like 75% or 80% loan to value. When you just buy a house, usually you don't have the equity. Your finance companies will actually loan to people right after they move in.
Correct. And
that's
so
fantastic.
And the most interesting part about it that I want to be very clear on for a lot of these homeowners is this is where a lot of misinformation happens with homeowners because they're like, hey, I bundled a roof as well as solar, and now my payment's larger than what my electric bill was. Well, it's like, well, sure it is because you're paying for two projects inside of one. But what we're finding with the average home in Arizona, by the time they're paying for their solar payment and their roof payment inside of that, it's lower than what just financing a roof would be with the average financing partner out there right now.
I absolutely believe it because that's why I come across so many roofs, especially Gilbert Chandler, you guys. So many of those homes are hitting 20 to 30 years old. And if you get a little leak, the roofer's going to come out and he might fix the leak, but he won't warrant the work unless you agree to a whole new roof. So there are building materials coming out. Really excited to educate you guys about it. Also energy efficient. I'm going to tell you and Will all about it. Yep. And what it does is it actually allows you to maybe put a Band-Aid on the roof, get another 10 to 20 years without actually having to rip the whole sucker off. Which, who doesn't want a Band-Aid for 10 to 20 years?
Yeah, well, you also have to look at it from the solar perspective. We're not putting solar on the entire roof. So we might not even need to fix a certain side that we're installing on, but there might be another area
that you need to have it done.
You need to have a Band-Aid on.
So getting that financing, I just saw so many opportunities to help my clients with so much when I met you and learned about all the things that you do different than the rest of the solar companies out there. And that's why I chose to align with you, Taylor.
Correct.
Now, again, and I'm trying to get you on your website.
You're good.
There's so many cool things about his website. So if you guys just want to go on there and play around, he is located in Tempe. Great facility, huge and impressive. You mentioned Nevada. So would we want to click on Arizona? Would we click on?
We can scroll down here. So
Okay.
this is our mission statement right here, energizing a sustainable world. We believe in homeowners taking, the opportunity to own their power versus renting it and really kind of increasing their,
Taylor, we talk the same language. I say that
exactly
stuff
right.
all the time.
Exactly right.
We literally, the last show we just did, I think you got to watch the tail end of it, said you'll never get wealthy renting.
It's exactly right.
And you certainly won't renting your utilities.
Absolutely. And, it's an interesting concept where change is different. Solar is fairly new. I get it. People have seen it, but the advancements have been so awesome for homeowners to take advantage of. We're just excited to share that with people. So
It's so cool.
yeah. So as you look at our website here, like I was talking at the beginning, we are 100% vertically integrated solar company. So from the consultation to the engineering to the installation to the service, that is all Capital Energy. We handle it all. We're a one-stop shop. And the reason why we believe that's so important is the customer experience.
Yeah.
And then
Agreed.
we like to be able to provide training to our dealers as well as our internal reps to making sure we understand what's being said at the kitchen table. Because sometimes you just don't know, and it's important to kind of
Make
keep
sure
your
that
thumb on
people,
that.
make sure that people that are representing you are representing you well.
Absolutely. And homeowners want to have happen what they're told is going to happen, right?
Right.
And so it's important for us. So that's us here. We have an amazing team of all-stars at Capital Energy. We are super proud of all of our people.
Did you guys take that after you met me with the whole Integrity All-Stars thing?
That's
I'm just
right.
kidding.
That's right. That's right. And so if you're ever interested in joining the solar, movement,
Okay.
go to our website. We're always hiring.
For
and
both hiring people as employees
Yep.
and dealers, because I
Correct.
noticed you even have a dealer tab.
Absolutely, and we'll review that here in a second. And so the next big question that we get asked a ton about is battery storage.
Thank you for not letting me forget.
So battery storage is the next big movement. So I get asked this question almost with every conversation I have is, hey, I'm just going to wait until the technology gets better. Well, my personal belief is as far as panel technology, we're there. Like the panel technology is there. It's going to stay. There's a reason why we have a 25-year warranty on all of our hardware because we know how it's going to perform. We know what's going to take place over the next 25 years, even down to the degradation of what you're going to be producing in 5, 10, 15 years. We know that. The biggest change that's going to happen in solar in the next 3 to 5 years is going to be battery technology. So in SRP right now, when you overproduce power, the biggest question like we talked about is when the power goes back, what happens? What are they going to pay me? Battery technology allows us to put a battery on the home and we charge the battery. So if the power goes out, the battery will kick in like a generator.
Yeah.
It also is a benefit is I don't have to push the power back to SRP and be concerned about what they're going to pay me. I'm just going to hold that all on my own property. And
Now, let me ask you this, though. If I remembered enough to be dangerous from training, didn't you guys explain to me on average the average home would need 3 to 4 batteries if you wanted your house to power properly?
So that would be if you wanted to be off the grid completely.
Okay.
So
that's the difference.
Objectives.
I just wanted to point that out for anybody watching. If you want to be out in the middle of nowhere and literally never attached to the grid, you're going to want to get several batteries.
Yeah, you're going to need 2 to 3 batteries to obtain that goal, right? That's kind of the average. You need there 2 or 3. But see, there's a lot of variables here. The angle of your roof, how many people are in the home, how big the solar system is.
Yeah.
So this isn't like a one answer,
Everybody's different.
Every home is different. Everyone likes living, I might like it at 68 degrees in the middle of the summer. You might like it, you might push it all the way up to 75, or you might keep it down to 50. Who knows? But the point is with energy, it's like taxes. Everyone's in a different situation, and that's why it's so important that you talk to an individual who's educated and can answer those questions.
So out of curiosity, I think I know the answer to this. You're saying you just need one battery probably to store the majority of your excess, and it would work like a generator. So like if your power's out, you might be able to run your fridge, your deep freeze, a couple of lights.
Yep.
That's about it.
Exactly. And the benefit of that is you have to also ask yourself, how often does your power go out?
Not often here.
I live in SRP, live in East Valley. I didn't have my power go out once last year.
Yeah.
So the objective with one battery would be I just want to offset on peak. So that 3 to 8 time period where SRP is charging 27 cents, I want the battery to be
kicking in then. So do you tell your battery when to work?
Correct. You'll have an app where you're going to be able to tell your battery when you want to pull.
That sounds really complicated, Taylor.
Yeah, too complicated.
Is it?
No, not complicated at all.
You're laughing at me.
Yeah, not complicated at all.
I'm kind of being a little facetious.
Yeah.
So you're saying that it's not that complicated.
No, it's not that complicated. complicated. The more complicated thing is making sure you understand what you're getting on your property. So homeowners understanding, hey, if I'm getting one battery, we're not going to offset all of your AC units and the power shut off and your whole home's going to be fine. The whole objective of what you're doing and what we're putting on the home, as long as the homeowner understands that, they're going to be extremely happy. But the battery technology is where all the innovation's going. It's where everyone's spending time on. And the whole point is not to be, insensitive, but depending on what these boards start choosing to do with grid power, if you put a battery on your home.
You never went back to tell me. How do I vote?
You have to go and look at your local jurisdiction, and each one's a little different. I don't quite know exactly where to send you.
I'm going to have Ariel, you're watching the show right now. I know you are. Research it, and we're going to put a link so people know how to vote, because what we want is SRP to not.
If SRP could bring back net metering, where they're buying it back one for one,
net metering.
Every home in the East Valley would have solar on its home.
Okay, so that's what we need to vote on, is every person go out and vote. We'll get you the instructions.
Yep.
Because if you live in SRP territory, you are stupid. I'm stupid. I already said I was stupid. So Taylor, I digress. About 10,000 for each one of these?
Yeah, so the first one's about 13,000, and then for every additional battery, there's a discount on top of that. And so
I just throw that out so you guys know it's not backbreaking.
Yeah.
It could be worth it.
Yeah, and then the biggest question is we do offer multiple batteries. Franklin is the one we have on our website here. It's one that we enjoy. We also sell Enphase. There's Tesla batteries. There's multiple batteries that are out there. Correct.
Hey, and you know what? One thing we didn't talk about when you guys do the roofs, the windows. Did we mention the ACs?
Yeah, HVAC. HVAC's a big one.
That's a huge deal. If your HVAC is underperforming and working really hard, it's going to take a lot more energy to run.
Ton.
So if you get a new HVAC, which you can get through these guys, which again is what got me so excited, because I've been on so many home inspections. All right, if you bought a home during COVID, you weren't getting the seller to fix nothing. It didn't matter what was wrong with your roof, wrong with your AC, and if your windows were leaking, so what? Yeah. This is truly a great solution. I need you guys to call me or one of my agents to find out if it works for you, because Taylor, you are just a wealth of information, and I know you're not even too big to get on the phone and call one of my agents' clients to explain anything to them when they have questions that we can't answer.
Absolutely, and that's really what it comes down to, is making sure that people understand one, what they're getting and what the objective of the project is, because HVAC and roofs are our two biggest projects that we put inside of the solar right now, because the AC is always running in Arizona.
Always. And it uses the most energy.
Correct. And that's really, if you look at it right now, the biggest pull of energy in your home is your AC unit.
By far. No ifs, ands, or buts.
And so with that always breaking, with that always not being as efficient as it should be, it's always a good time to, one, look at your AC unit, and then two, if we need to make a change or replace it completely, throwing solar and bundling that together has never been a better option.
Throwing it into a leasing or a payment, not a leasing payment, I'm sorry,
Correct.
A loan payment is something that you can't go out and just do on your own. And that was, again, why I got so excited, because I know of so many first-time home buyers who are just lucky to get in. So if they were able to take advantage of this, they could get lower utility bills that help offset that payment, but add a lot of value to their house. So I hope I gave you guys enough information to be dangerous as to why you don't want to be like me and don't be stupid. I'm getting mine right away. I've already talked to Will about it. Is there anything else on the website we should show people before we hop off?
No, I mean, go on the website. There's areas in here where you can come and you can put in a quote.
You know, one thing I really love, you guys have really cool technology on here, that like the little videos that pop up that show you how everything works.
Correct.
I'm going to encourage you guys to hop on there and see that. Where would they go to do that? How it works?
Yep, how it works. And then you can also look at AZ, Nevada, careers, installation process here.
That video is really cool.
So if you click on this, it'll walk you through. Everyone asks, hey, how do you actually install these on my roof?
Yeah.
Click this video and it'll walk you through that. And as you keep going down through here, it'll answer additional questions for you, seeing how much money average residents of Arizona or Nevada will save. And here's some installs that we've done on here that you can swing through and take a look at yourself.
Ooh, okay, last thing. Everybody who has a house that faces west or faces south gets really cranky because they don't like where those panels go. Can you speak to that just real quick before we sign off today? Why do people have to have panels on the front of their home?
Great question. So when we look at a home to put solar on, the two areas that we want the direction facing is west NSRP, NAPS, and then south. And the reason why is when the sun is going through the sky in the hot summer day, where is it during on peak?
South.
It's south, and then it goes down
west.
in the west.
Yeah.
So when you're paying those high energy rates, so if you're on a time of use plan with SRP and you're paying those 27 to 30 cents a kilowatt hour during that time of day, we can produce that power when it's facing west, and it's offsetting all that energy where you're paying double to triple the cost from your utility. So when you look at what we're trying to do is we're trying to really utilize angles and directions more than just more panels. So we really want to put panels on the west. We really want to put panels on the south.
They perform better.
They perform way better. So a good example, north versus south, you're going to need about 10 to 20 more panels on the north to produce the same amount of those panels on the south.
So if somebody really wanted to do that, like for example, I had one of my agents yesterday, we were talking about solar, and she's like, if only I could get my husband, but our house faces west and he will not put them on the front of the house.
Yep.
So he could put them on the backside.
You just
need a lot more panels.
Correct. You'll need more panels, and then depending on the angle and the pitch of the home, when we do that energy, PV watt report, we'll actually compare that on a graph so you can see how much you're using that time versus what the solar is going to produce.
That is so cool that you guys can do that, because that truly shows the individual homeowner, for their home in particular, what will happen if they really don't like the look, they put it on the back, it's going to cost them X more, perform that much less. And at the end of the day, this is what I told her, I'm like, after a while, you just get used to seeing them, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I have a saying where if you don't like the way they look compared to the money you're saving, solar's not for you.
Okay, you heard it here. Taylor Russell, it's been a pleasure.
It's fantastic coming on
Thank
here.
you so
Appreciate
much
it.
for coming. I know I'm emphatically crazy when it comes to new products, and solar's not new like you said, but it's a heck of a lot better than it used to be, and I want all of my clients to take advantage, and please go vote. We're going to get you guys a link. We'll figure it out. Have a great day. What a great show, and thank you for joining us on our mutual journey to becoming unharmable and successful in all of our experiences while we're here in this school of life. We hope you enjoyed it. If you watched us on YouTube, please like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Likewise, if you're catching us on one of our podcast platforms, be sure to follow us so you never miss out on another one of our shows again. Remember that if you ever have a question about real estate or any of the other topics we cover, check us out on the web, www.gratefulheart.tv, for all of our links to connect with us.
I'm on vacation every single day, 'cause I love my occupation. I'm on vacation every single day, every single day.